Do you want to know how to build a website for sales using the best header menu design? In the next few minutes, we'll be discussing the elements that you need in your header menu to help improve conversion rate, including a sticky header, a logo in your header menu, a shop all in the header menu, and Shopify search in the header. My name is Elise Nelson, and I help tech challenge makers build a profitable e-commerce brand. Thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel, where I offer lessons that are 15 minutes or less to help you grow your e-commerce shop. In this short video, we'll be talking about how to set up your website header for tech challenge makers. But before we jump into this maker lesson, what is one thing you know you need in your header menu? Leave a comment and let me know. All right, so let's talk about what the goals of the header menu are. The goals of the header are to direct the shopper where you want them to go and to answer their questions. So let's talk about answering their questions first. In order to answer your customers' questions, you want to make sure that you have three things in your header menu: the frequently asked questions, shipping, and returns. And it needs to actually say frequently asked questions, shipping, and returns, so that they can easily find answers to the questions that they have that will prevent them from buying. Now, the next thing I said we needed to know is where you want them to go. So, what is it that you want the shoppers on your website to do? If you're being honest with yourself, you want them to shop and buy. That is the entire point of an e-commerce website, and if you said something different, you are not being completely transparent with yourself. You are in this to make money at some point. So what we call this thing that you want them to do is a call to action. You have to tell them what you want them to do. You're going to call them to do a specific thing with a CTA or call to action. So the call to action for your site should be shop. Here's an example from my site. You can see it says shop right here. You want to make sure your call to action stands out in your header. So here in my header, the first thing that grabs my attention is my logo, and then this little heart, which is just an emoji, grabs my attention to get them to go to the shop button. So you want to make sure that your call to action is something that they will immediately have their eye drawn to, and that it is clear what you want them to do. Now, the next thing about this header menu, now that you've put this shop in here to grab their attention, you have to make sure that they can always see it. So the way to make sure that your call to action is always visible and your menu is always visible is to have a sticky header. So what is a sticky header? If a customer comes to your site and they scroll, your header menu stays visible as they are scrolling down your page. What this does is it makes it so they can always see that call to action to shop. So this is what we want. We want to have a sticky header on our website. Now, if you want more help with your e-commerce brand, be sure to subscribe and sign up for notifications so that you don't miss any of the videos that are 15 minutes or less to help you grow your e-commerce shop. Now, before we jump into the next thing that you need on your menu, we're going to have to go into a little bit of psychology of the shopper. And I call this the shopper mindset. So there are two types of shoppers who will visit your website. There are what I call browsers, and browsers do not intend to make a purchase. They are shopping broad. They are literally coming to your website to window shop. Therefore, you have to have something in your menu to make them want to click and go look at what you have. Shop is an excellent place to start, but there's even more that you need to make sure you have. With your browsers, narrow categories are the enemy. If your menu is completely chock full of just collections and category names, that is not going to help your browsers. Those are intended to help the second shopper that comes to your website, and those are your buyers. Buyers love narrow categories because they come to your website with the intention of making a purchase. They shop narrow. They come to your website because they saw a type of product or a specific product that they want. You want to make sure in your menu you're addressing your buyers by having easy ways for them to shop for exactly what they're looking for. So you do not want to put cutesy names here that no one besides you will understand. You also do not want to put things here like collection names that no one knows what they are. That is not to say you can't put collections, but you need to have a drop down like this that says collections and then puts the collection names on the off chance that someone may know what the collection name is. But that should not be the first thing in your menu. And the reason that shouldn't be the first thing in your menu is because most people are not going to be able to use those to find what they're looking for. So you want to make the shopping experience as easy as possible right from your menu for your browsers and your buyers. Now, there is actually a third type of shopper that we haven't mentioned yet, and that is what I call purchasers. Purchasers are shoppers who make a purchase because you addressed their needs. Now, these purchasers might start out as buyers or browsers. The way that you get them to become purchasers is by addressing what they want. For a browser, they want everything out on a silver platter, and for a buyer, they want to be able to click and immediately go to what they want to buy. All right, so let's talk about the actual menu items that you need in your menu to address both browsers and buyers. Browsers want a shop all or all products button. This link will take them to an overview, a smorgasbord of the items that you have to offer them for sale. This is essential because it doesn't require any kind of a decision. They will not click on collections, and if they do, they'll quickly tire because they don't know what they want to look for. That's the entire point. They're window shopping. So the shop all is one way to make it easy for your browsers to start looking at what you offer. Now, one thing I do want to warn you about, if when someone clicks on your shop all button, they are presented with categories or collections, this is going to keep them from shopping. You have to make your shop all button go to a page that shows all your products, not collections, not categories, only products. And ideally, you want them to be mixed up so they can see a variety of what you have to offer. The big thing with this button is it has to say all. It can say shop all, it can say all products, but it has to say all. So that is for your browsers. So what do your buyers want? Your buyers need the categories and collections like we talked about earlier, but they also really need a search. You have to have the Shopify search or WooCommerce search in your header for your buyers. And this is because if they know exactly what they want, if they have seen a post that says this is the blah, 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 you want them to be able to type in blah, 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 and find that specific item. The categories and collections are going to be if they know it is specific category or this specific collection. What this needs to do is it needs to be easy to find and it needs to quickly take them to the products that they want. Because again, all of these shoppers, whether they're browsers or buyers, have a very short attention span. The average e-com site visitor only looks at 2 to 3 pages on your website. So when you realize that, you want to make sure that every click that takes them to a new page is one that takes them to exactly what they want, or you will lose them. Now, before we jump into the rest of this lesson, please like this video and comment with the word all to let me know that you heard my suggestion to have a shop all or all products link in your menu. Again, comment all if you understand what I'm saying about having a shop all or all products link in your menu for your browsers. Also, be sure to stick with me to the end of the video to learn your challenge for today and implement what you've learned. All right, so now we are going to talk a little bit about conversion rates. 2 different types of conversion rates we are going to address. The first conversion rate I want to talk about is purchase conversion rate. The average e-com site should only expect a 1 to 2% purchase conversion rate because that's the average purchase conversion for e-commerce. What does that mean? That means if you have 100 people visit your site, only 1 or 2 of them will make a purchase. So this brings you to an understanding that when someone comes to your shop, it is highly likely they will not buy. So if you are only addressing purchasers, you are losing 98% of your audience. So our primary goal is to get them to buy. But if we know that we can only expect a small percentage of those people to actually buy, we need to have a secondary goal to get the rest of the people. So let's go with the averages. 1 to 2% purchase conversion means if 100 people come to your site, 98 of them will not buy. So what do you want them to do instead? If you're thinking, and if you've had any experience with marketing, you know the answer to this is to get them to sign up for your email list. But did you know that on average, I only see a 2 to 6% conversion rate with my clients who are all e-commerce shops. Now, on occasion, I'll see someone who has a very high conversion rate, 20-25%. Let's go with the average, okay? 2 to 6% conversion. So we have 98 people left who didn't buy. Of those 98 people, we're going to say 6 of them signed up for your email list. So you still have 92 people that have come to your site that you have not done anything with. They just came and left. So what is your third goal? What do you want those 92 people to do when they're on your site if they're not going to purchase and they're not going to sign up for your email list. Now, there are ways to improve your email list conversion rate, which we'll talk about in another video. But for now, let's just go with the averages. Your third goal is going to be to get them to recognize your brand. And that is because recognition is really a majority of the battle. When someone recognizes your brand, they're more likely to trust your brand, and people are more likely to buy from a brand they trust. So this makes them more likely to buy. So maybe they don't buy this time they visit your site, but maybe the next time they see you, they'll recognize you and they'll feel a little more comfortable, and maybe they'll buy then, or maybe they'll buy on the third time or the fourth time or the fifth time. You often hear marketers talk about how somebody has to see something 7 times before they feel comfortable. That is not really true anymore, but there is some magic number for every shopper where if you can get to that magic number and get them to recognize you enough, they will build enough trust with you to finally go and make that purchase. So that is our third goal. Our third goal is to get them to recognize your brand in the hope that they will eventually sign up for your email list and or buy something. So how do we do that? The way we do that is with our branding colors and our logo. And so your logo needs to be somewhere that they are going to see it over and over again, so they will start to recognize your logo even just from one visit to your website. So the very first place we can put our logo is in our header menu. So you want to make sure that you have an actual logo that is recognizable, that is used across all of your social media and anywhere else they could see you on your website in your header menu. As a side note, this should also be in your footer menu. And if you are using a sticky menu, a sticky header, they will see it the entire time they are on your site. So the more times you can get them to see your logo and the more times you can get them used to your colors, so for example, for my brand, my colors are red, the more they will start to recognize you when they run across you in the future. So that is your third goal. You want to make sure that they recognize your brand. Just a quick reminder, today's question was, what is one thing you know you need in your header menu? Hopefully, you now have several answers that you can comment below and let me know. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos in this playlist to learn more about how to build a website for sales. Plus, be sure to watch my Metricool playlist to learn all about how to use my favorite social media scheduler. The links for both playlists are in the description of this video. To get help with your e-commerce website, even if you're tech challenged, be sure to check out the links in the description for my website review call, website building, and strategy sessions. You can also grab my book, Browser versus Buyer, Optimize Your E-commerce Website and Get More Sales. All of that, of course, is in the links in the description of this video. Your challenge for today is to put a Shop All or All Products link in the menu of your website, and then comment below and let me know you have the most important button on your website. Don't forget to live your dream every single day, and I will see you in the next video.